Well, guys, now you can see today's agenda on screen. Stuttering is defined in the International Classification of Disease as a speech that is characterized by frequent prolongations or repetitions of sounds or syllables or words, or by frequent hesitations or pauses that disrupt the rhythmic flow of speech. It should be classified as a disorder only if its severity is such as to markedly disturb the fluency of speech. And according with Belyakova's definition, stuttering is a violation of the tempo, rhythm, and fluency of speech caused by muscle cramps in various parts of the peripheral speech apparatus, respiratory, vocal, and articulatory. Respiratory system is made up of the trachea, the lungs, and the diaphragm. The voice system is made up of the larynx and the vocal cords. The vocal cords are the vibrating element that produces sounds with a varying tone and loudness. Place of articulation deals with the placement of the vocal organs when producing a sound. Before we can cover the particulars of places of articulation, we'll need to take a look at the various vocal organs and their locations. Moving from the front to the back, we'd begin with our lips. We can use both lips in order to create a sound, or we can use one of our lips with one of our rows or teeth in order to produce another sound. We also have other sounds which use both of the rows of teeth. Further back, we have what's called the alveolar ridge, that's the bit of the mouth that may get burned when we're eating a pizza that is a bit too hot and the cheese burns just behind our top two teeth. Just behind that, we have our hard palate and we use that to create some sound. And behind our hard palate is our soft palate, or what some people refer to as our velum. We use those to create a few sounds as well. Within that, from the front to the back, we do have our nasal cavity. And finally, we have our vocal cords and we use those for a few sounds as well. In this case, a tempo understands as the number of sound units that are pronounced per unit of time. Rhythm understands as a sequential alteration of sounds organized in time. Fluent speech is characterized by the uninterrupted pronunciation of syntagma. Well, syntagma means syntagma, a logically complete sentence of a utterance that is pronounced within one exhalation. Syntagma off. Sometimes stuttering may be confused with cluttering because replacements of sounds or words could often occur into a speech process in the same manner as in stuttering. But there are essential differences. Cluttering is defined by the International Classification of Disease as a rapid rate of speech with breakdown of fluency but no repetitions or hesitations. Over severity to give rise to diminished speech intelligibility. Speech is erratic and dysrhythmic with rapid jerky spurts that usually involve faulty phrasing patterns.
And then when I started working, which is, over 20 years ago now, when I was explaining something to my boss, or, trying to explain ideas or situations, I just found that I couldn't get my words out. My speech just did not flow. I found that my thoughts would race at times and my mouth would have a very hard time trying to keep up.
Nonfluencies are a feature of the speech of preschool children, which usually coincides with the time of our intensive evolving of our speech function. These tend to be word, part word, or phrase repetitions, interjections, or revisions. Some authors, such as Florenskaya and Becker, call it an evolutionary stuttering or stutter and growl. Nonfluencies aren't necessarily developing into stuttering, but the frequent rate of repetitions is the first sign of it noted in the majority of children, in accordance with Andrew Harris and Bloodstain. So, if you noticed a frequent rate of repetitions in a speech flow of a kid, pay attention to the additional signs, like accessory movements, that follow in those children who develop a persistent and severe stutter.
Have you ever had a dreams that you do?
And please remember, stuttering could be treated much more easily while your kid's still a kid. Why? Well, we'll talk about this later in one of the next videos. This is Dr. Gu. Be careful on the roads and prosper.